Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me is Jay Huseman. We are here for the Gateway preview for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So a lot to consider. This is their season finale, Jay, and we will know who are the 12 drivers at the end of this race that will move on into the playoffs.
You know, of all the things I was looking at, that really hadn't sank in. That's right. This is their finale. What a better track. Worldwide Technology Raceway, Gateway Raceway if you're an older fan. And it's a full field. Nobody will miss the race, but it will be a full field. So throw some notables out there. The number 07 is going to be Nick Lights. Daniel Hemrick back with Colleague Racing in the number 11. Garrett Smithley in the number 14. Number 17, Hendrick Motorsports Machine will be Corey Day. Eric Almirola in the JGR, number 19. Jordan Anderson driving himself again in the number 32. We got the number 35 is to be announced. The number 45, LeVar Scott. Number 53 will be Joey Gase. Thomas Annunziato getting another start in the number 70. Cole Raz is back in the 76. And Matt Mills in the number 91. I believe that's a DGM car. So I like the field we got, plus your regulars that are going to be battling for the championship playoffs, like you said.
Yeah, that 35 car is the Joey Gase Motorsports car. And I don't know if there's been any announcements in the Xfinity Series. I was just going to look and see. Brennan Poole.
Okay, there we go. Oh, another good one. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, he's going to be in the 44.
You're right. One listed as the 44. Well, and looking at this other entry list there, though, I don't know why they don't have them. The 05 is going to be Stefan Parsons in an Alpha Prime machine. I don't know why that Stefan Parsons and you said Brennan Poole weren't listed on there.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, well, anyway, let's go ahead and get into the information that we have here for the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. The next race at Worldwide Technology Raceway, also known as Gateway, is the New Way 200 sauced by Blue Hog Barbecue. And that is Gateway is a 1.25 mile asphalt oval. That race will be Saturday, September the 6th, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be on the home network of CW at 7 p.m. They're saying the race is at 7:30. I guess 7 p.m. is the pre-race coverage. And then also on MRN and Sirius XM NASCAR Channel 90. They will race that distance of 200 miles over 160 laps. Stage 1 is 35 laps ending on lap 35. Stage 2 also 35 laps ending on lap 70. And then the final stage will be 90 laps ending on lap 160. So where do you watch this weekend? The final practice for the Xfinity Series will actually be on Friday, September the 5th, and that's on the CW app at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Also on Saturday, of course, is the Xfinity Series Kennemetal Pole qualifying, also on the CW app at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the race, as we mentioned earlier, starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So a lot to look forward to here with the Xfinity Series season finale. And we've got a lot to talk about there.
It is. And the weekend marks the 15th running of a NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. But it is the first since 2010. The trucks came back and Cup started there, but the Xfinity hasn't been here since 2010.
Okay, on Saturday, it'll be 5,432 days since that last Xfinity Series race at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
And Sharon already pointed out, like I said, it kind of slipped my mind, but this is the NASCAR Xfinity Series regular season finale.
And we can't talk about the Xfinity Series without talking about Connor Zilisch. Connor Zilisch won the series leading 8th race of the season at Portland, breaking Christopher Bell's 2018 record for most wins in a season as a rookie.
Well, we're going to talk some more about him because Zilisch won 6 of the last 7 races this season, including 2 winning streaks of 3 races each.
Connor Zilisch has more wins in the last 7 races than all but 5 other drivers racing this weekend have in their entire Xfinity Series career.
Wow.
That's astounding, isn't it?
Wow. I realize he's been on fire, but that one's impressive. And Zilisch is 13 straight top 5 since returning from his back injury, which is at Talladega, is tied now with Carl Edwards for the second longest top 5 streak all time. Zilisch is the youngest driver with more than 5 straight top 5s.
Also, Zilisch has won 32% of his starts. That's the best all time among drivers with more than 3 starts.
And lastly here, real quick on Zilisch, he leads the regular season standings now by 20 points over Justin Allgaier and 50 points over Sam Mayer. No other drivers can mathematically win this regular season championship. And that was huge with the Daytonas, where they really thought they were going to have to make the show interesting by having him start and Parker Kligerman finish it. But to go out and win then at Portland, just absolutely, it didn't secure it yet, but put him in a great position.
And then throw in on top of that, that just, 1 or 2 weeks since he broke his collarbone?
3 weeks, 3 weeks, yep.
He's racing in a road course race and winning.
And winning, yep.
It's just astounding to me. Now, I was listening to Hauler talk, and they were talking about the medications that they can and cannot take, and about the only thing he could take is over-the-counter medicines like Tylenol and ibuprofen and that sort of thing. So I think it's just incredible what he's doing.
It is. I know I heard an interview where he said it was a little uncomfortable, wasn't necessarily pain, if you would call it. But we've heard drivers talk about that before of once you get in a car and you're running good, all that kind of goes out the window.
It does. They can compartmentalize that. Now, 17 drivers are fighting for those final 3 playoff spots, but only 4 drivers have the opportunity to make the playoffs on points. That does not include Carson Cavapo because he's clinched his playoff spot on his points after Portland. Any one of those 17 drivers, even if they're below the cut line, could put themselves into these playoffs with this race at Gateway.
That's right. They just got one option, though, and that's to win. Now, Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray are still at risk because they can only be passed in points by Harrison Burton. And then as long as there's no new winner from below the cut line, both Creed and Gray would make the playoffs. But if Burton passes one of them and there's a new winner, then one of those two could be out.
Here's the thing. If Sheldon Creed or Taylor Gray were to blow a motor early or have something like what happened to Josh Berry early in that race, they are now the driver that's probably going to be in jeopardy of not making. So
be like Alex Bowman watching it from the hauler, hoping rooting for one of your competitors.
Okay, now if Harrison Burton doesn't have issues, the earliest Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray can clinch a playoff spot in the points is at the end of stage 2. So that's something to watch throughout this race. Those 3 drivers in particular are drivers to really keep your eyes on. Who's having a good day, who's not having a good day, because it's going to make a difference.
Now, Jeb Burton is the only driver below the cutoff that can point his way into the playoffs. And Jeb gained 5 more points on cousin Harrison at Portland after a 7th place finish.
And so he's definitely in contention for this at Gateway. 13 drivers below Jeb Burton must win at Worldwide Technology Raceway for them to make the playoffs. Jeb is the only one that could end up doing it via points.
Well, and I didn't realize this one, Sharon, but we've been talking about all year of these rookies in the second half of the season. Rookies swept the top 4 finishing positions at Portland, setting a new Xfinity Series record for rookies sweeping the top 4 spots.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a record, but I did talk about that when I did the review for the Xfinity Series, how many rookies there were in those 4 top 5 spots. 4 of the 5 were rookies. And I think there was one other, Nick Sanchez was in the top 10, and Daniel Dye finished 11th. So a lot of rookies were up there in those top 11 spots. The only rookie that didn't have a good day, I think, was Dean Thompson. And he still made the best out of his situation. Okay, Junior Motorsports. It's time for us to talk about them because they're having a phenomenal year this year. They have won 10 of the last 12 races with 4 different drivers.
And that organization has also won 15 races this season with a series record 6 different drivers. All 6 drivers won in the last 15 races. That does not include Parker Kligerman, who won in the relief role at Daytona, because that gets credited to Connor Zilisch.
Now, also, Junior Motorsports had at least one car finish inside the top 5 in a record 27 straight races.
Now, we mentioned it was 2010 the last time they were here, so we have no past WWTR Xfinity Series winner racing this weekend because a lot of them are probably now Cup drivers, and they're not allowed to run in this final race of the regular season.
All right. Only 2 past WWTR Xfinity Series winners are still full-time in NASCAR, and that's Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski.
Well, there you go. And actually only 3 drivers have made Xfinity Series starts at St. Louis before. Justin Allgaier has 3, Jeremy Clements also has 3, and Matt DiBenedetto has 2.
And Sheldon Creed is the only driver in the field with a win at Worldwide Technology Raceway. He has 2 Truck Series wins and 1 ARCA win at that track.
Oh, could this be where his first career win comes?
We'll see.
Now, Christian Eckes has made 9 combined WWTR starts. That's the most of any driver on the entry list. He's got 7 starts in the trucks and 2 in the ARCA Menard Series.
All right. Now, a pass for the win occurred with 2 to go in each of the last 2 races at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And we'll see if that continues this weekend or if they break that up.
And here we got one of the notables I mentioned. Late model and ARCA driver Cole Raz will attempt to make his Xfinity Series debut in the number 76, which is a second AM Racing entry. And that is also a teammate then to Harrison Burton. That could come into play.
That could come into play. Yep. We'll see what happens. I'm sure he's not going to hurt him. We're back to Connor Zilisch here. He leads the series with his 8 wins. He also has 14 top 5s, an 8.8 average finish, and 6 poles this season.
Now, Justin Allgaier is battling with him for the points, leads the series with 695 laps led and 9 stage wins this season.
And Jesse Love leads the series with 17 top 10s this season. That's pretty incredible for Jesse Love. We know he's good, but I hadn't picked up that he had so many top 10.
What I love there is a variety. It's not all one driver, so that shows you the competition. A couple different drivers leading different categories. But we got to go back to Justin Allgaier, as he has won the fastest lap award 5 times this season. No other driver has won it more than 3.
And Justin Allgaier's 28 career wins are 9th on the all-time wins list and 1 away from tying Matt Kenseth. I still say he's going to do it. He's going to tie him, and he's going to go past him.
Yeah, 2 more wins in the rest of the year. He's capable of it, so I can see him breaking that this year, yeah.
He's got to probably go through Connor Zilisch, though.
Now, this one, though, I think is definitely doable. Justin Allgaier's 3 top 10s away from becoming the first driver to reach 300 NASCAR Xfinity Series top 10 finishes. That's, I think, almost a given.
Justin Allgaier is making his 497th career start at WWTR, tying Mike Wallace for 5th most all time.
Ooh, wow. And I think Kenny Wallace is up there as far as Kenny Wallace. And who just tied Kenny Wallace? Jeremy Clements, maybe?
I think
one of them. Yeah, and that was for Kenny Wallace. So Wallace's have been around for a long time.
Well, and they live in that area, so I'm
that's
sure
true
they
too.
grew up racing on that track.
Now, Chevrolet led 2,946 of the 3,841 laps this season. and that's a total of 77%. Chevy has been dominant.
Yes, they have. They've also won 22 of 25 races. That's the most all time by a manufacturer through 25 races in series history. So we are watching history in the making here. There is no doubt about it.
And that's the good side of history. The bad side is Toyota, as they are winless in the last 17 races. That's their longest winless streak since the first Xfinity Series win back in 2007.
Let's remind everybody about the 5 crew chiefs that got their first Xfinity Series win this season. That includes Chad Haney at Atlanta, Sam McCauley at Darlington, Adam Wall at Bristol, Corey Shea at Mexico City, and of course, one of the most popular people in NASCAR, Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Pocono.
Now, we saw a streak come to an end. We're trying to start a new one. The last 2 races went to overtime after the previous 10 races had all ended in regulation laps.
Okay, now 5 races this year have ended with a last lap pass. Will Gateway be the next, or will we continue with just 5?
And lastly, just want to remind people of, if you hear us say it, O'Reilly Auto Parts, they're going to replace Xfinity as the title sponsor starting in 2026. And they'll become the 5th different title sponsor of the series. It started out as Budweiser. That was before me. Busch is where I came in. Nationwide, Xfinity, and now it will be O'Reilly starting next year.
All right. We've mentioned it a couple times here, but Worldwide Technology Raceway is the regular season finale for the series, the Xfinity Series. 9 drivers are locked in, 8 winners, and Carson Cavapel on points. 17 drivers are eligible to make the playoffs by winning at WWTR. And Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray, they're the only ones that can be passed in points by Harrison Burton. As long as there's no winner from below the cut line, they will make the playoffs on points. The earliest in the St. Louis race that Creed or Gray can clinch is the end of stage 2 without an issue by Harrison Burton early. Jeb Burton, again, is the only driver below the cut line who can point their way in, and every driver below the cut line except Jeb Burton must win to make the playoffs. So I know you're going to cover some clinch scenarios here as well. So we'll have an idea of the drivers to keep an eye on this weekend.
Well, and it will be pretty simple there based on what you read there. 9 drivers have clinched their spot in the 12-driver postseason field. Connor Zilisch, Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, Jesse Love, Austin Hill, Carson Cavapel, Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, and Nick Sanchez. Now, if there is a repeat winner by a win by a driver who cannot advance to the playoffs, following drivers would clinch by being ahead of the 5th winless driver in the standings. The same requirements would hold true if a new win comes from Carson Cavapel, Sheldon Creed, or Taylor Gray. In that case, Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray would clinch regardless of finish. Harrison Burton would clinch with 26 points. Jeb Burton is the one that would need some help because, again, he's below the cut line. Now, the following drivers could clinch on points with a win by Harrison Burton. That would be Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray then. If the new winner is from Jeb Burton or another winless driver lower in the standings, but still eligible to advance in the playoffs, drivers would clinch by being ahead of the 4th winless driver in the standings. Sheldon Creed would clinch with 22 points, Taylor Gray with 27, and then Harrison Burton would need the one with help, and he would need either Taylor Gray or Sheldon Creed to have a problem. Now, drivers that can still clinch on their win alone: Creed, Gray, Burton, Harrison, and Jeb, but also Ryan Sieg, Christian Eckes, this is where the rookies come in, Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye, Brennan Poole, William Sawalich, Jeremy Clements, Matt DiBenedetto, Blaine Perkins, Anthony Alfredo, Parker Retzlaff, Kyle Sieg, Kyle Sieg fell way down, and Ryan Ellis. As those drivers have made all the races so far, so are still eligible.
Those are your 17 drivers.
And there you go. Now, when it comes to the regular season championship, we were talking about that. It's a 20-point lead. So to leave there, you got to have 41 points, which is what Connor Zilic would need. Justin Allgaier obviously needs help, as could mathematically possible Sam Mayer. He needs help from both competitors.
Yes. All right. So that's pretty much it for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Do you want to cover where the points are now, or do you think we kind of covered that already?
It pretty much has. Do you have the reseeding when they do based on the wins? Because this race, I mean, we've talked about who is locked in, so then it'd be a matter of going to the reseeding with the playoff points, as it were. I can guarantee you the top spot's going to be the same. Connor Zilic, he's got 43 playoff points built up.
Okay, he's got the most playoff points without a doubt. Okay, let me pull up the reseeding here. Here's the playoff standings with 25 of the 33 races in. 26th is the race at WWT Raceway. Connor Zilic has the 8 wins and 43 playoff points, so he's in first place right now. Justin Allgaier has 3 wins and 24 playoff points. Right now, he's the regular season championship leader. And if I heard you correctly, is it possible that Connor Zilic could still get that?
Connor Zilic is one leading by 21. That's why he only needs 41 points to clinch it.
Okay.
Allgaier needs to make it up.
That's kind of what I thought was happening there. Now, Sam Mayer is in third place. He's the first driver. He's the highest ranked driver with 1 win. Then you got Brandon Jones, Sammy Smith, Jesse Love, and Nick Sanchez. Now, remember, Austin Hill got that penalty, I think, in the regular season points. I think he's ranking around 5th or so. But he moves down to 8th place, even though he has 3 wins. And that's because all of his playoff points were taken away, and he cannot earn any others. So he is now 8th in those points. Now, going to the drivers that are in on points, Carson Cavapo is the only driver who's locked in. He's got 727 points. Sheldon Creed is 10th. He's 65 points to the good. Taylor Gray in the 11th is 60 points to the good. And Harrison Burton's cushion is 31. He's the only driver that if Sheldon Creed or Taylor Gray were to have a bad day, he could end up passing them up in the series point standing. Jeb Burton, on the other hand, is currently below that elimination line, and he is 31 points down. So the other drivers that are below Jeb Burton are the drivers that would need a win in order to get into the playoffs for this season.
Yeah, definitely going to be a wild one. And they mentioned that throughout the first 2 stages, if Sheldon Creed and Taylor Gray were to get some bonus points there in those first 2 stages, after stage 2, they may be a little secure if they've gotten enough points there. But you'll have to wait until stage 2 ends to see that. And it may still be open. It may still be open.
So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We're here to tell you who to watch this weekend down at Madison, Illinois. It's the track is actually in Madison, Illinois. So they say St. Louis because it's a suburb of the St. Louis area, similar to what they do with Joliet in Chicago.
Right, Chicagoland, yep.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, we want you to know who to keep your eye on this weekend. As we go into this regular season finale. And it's going to be an exciting race. I would say a do not miss race because everybody's going to be anxious. Everybody's going to want to do whatever they can do to get into this race. I just hope we don't have any dump and runs. I hope they keep it clean.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Again, WWTR is a short track. So you're going to see some rubbing and bumping and banging without a doubt. The one thing, and I say, Sharon, you said you got to go through Connor Zilic. I am not disputing that by any means. I do like Sheldon Creed's experience there, though. and we've talked about it, the record of second place finishes without a win.
Yes.
I'd kind of like to see him go out and get a win, take that pressure off of whether or not somebody else wins.
Yes.
I think this is a good place to do it.
Great. I think it would be great if Sheldon Creed would be able to do that. You know, time always tells the rest of the story here, and we don't have that much more time to wait.
No, we'll have some good storylines on Monday, that's for sure.
Okay, do watch for more. There's only 2 races this weekend, and it's the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series out at WWT Raceway. So Jay and I will be back in the next video with the next preview, which is for the Cup Series. And then on Friday, Taz and I will sit down and give you the fantasy report that will help you with your fantasy picks going into this weekend at that track. It's going to be a little challenging, I think, only because the Cup Series doesn't have that many races out there at WWT Raceway. If it's going to be that interesting for us, I'm sure all of you are wondering who you're going to pick too, for the same reason. So we'll do our best to give you some ideas of who to pick.
Well, Sharon, I don't want to question your picking ability, but I know Chris was bragging on Taz and how many points he scored after last week that he should have listened to him. I didn't hear your name mentioned, so I don't know.
No, Taz and I agreed on that.
Oh, okay, okay. He apparently did real well. He said Chris said he smoked him.
Yep. Well, that's good that the 2 of them are doing it. But yeah, we talked about it that they don't have a good track record. Hendrick Motorsports in general does not have a good track record at Darlington.
Right.
So we knew that they were not the drivers to go for.
I'd have still fell for it because I think that's one of those Kyle Larson having that roller coaster season, if you will, up and down. I think that was one of his more down ones. Should have at least been a little more solid. I think they ended up the top finisher was 17th. Chase Elliott 17th and Larson 19th.
You'd be surprised. Look at their box scores.
Yeah.
Kyle Larson, I think, was a little bit better overall, but yeah, their box scores don't show it. So
yeah, I wouldn't have believed that, but stats don't lie.
They do not. Also, on the other side of the weekend, we will be back with the reviews, and I think Sal will be back to help with that. And then on Monday night, we have our live stream of the NASCAR Hot Topic Sound Off, and Jay, 92 views, or 96 was the latest number I saw on the views for that. Again, we started all over again with the previews for the following week, and that week we're going to have 6 races. So it's going to be a big week again at Bristol.
Yeah, and it's a big week just because it's Bristol.
Yes. And the races will start early. They'll start on Thursday night instead of Friday night. So
all right. Well, we appreciate you fans. I know you said we had 96, and I think we're above 80 now on subscribers to the channel. We appreciate you all. Sharon's got it up there. Thank you for watching.
Yes, we can't leave without saying thank you for watching. We do appreciate each and every one of you. And Jay and I are looking forward to the next video. So we hope to see you there.